Okay, so HBS has a lot of money, but what do they do with it? I'm not 100% sure what they do with 100% of it, but I have noticed some little things here and there that I know definitely cost a lot of money. So I'm sure a good chunk of my tuition is going towards those things. But do I think spending on these minute details are worth it? Well, you take a look and you tell me. So basically, my threshold for the standard that Harvard maintains and presents its buildings and services are based on the buildings in my undergrad university, which, keep in mind, was a public school in Texas. So a lot of infrastructure will be different. Like the first thing, how often the floors are cleaned in the buildings. During the winter, us kids are constantly tracking in snow, salt, dirt, but I feel like the ground is basically always clean and not wet and not a splashy safety hazard. I was really impressed because not even the shops on Newberry Street seem to care about the cleanliness and safety of the ground in their shops. Now, let's go to the classroom. I know pretty much everybody knows what the classroom looks like, but I want to point your attention to some key details. Look at the placement of the outlets. They're placed along a rail under the table with a cable hole every so often in the desk for the wires to go through the table. I love how they built in the wire management. And it's not just the classrooms. The Aldrich alcoves also all have outlets in the middle of the table, and the outlets are covered, giving it a seamless look. Clearly, all these tables were not just custom designed, but intentionally designed with the user in mind, because all the outlets are so accessible. Now, going back to the classroom.
That's the worm deck, that's the garden deck, that's the sky deck, and I don't know what those two rows are called. In total, there are 9 chalkboards. All of them go up and down except for the base ones over there. Those just stay put, but they can still be written on. There's a camera, there's another camera, and there's another camera. There are also projectors. So there's one on the left, one on the right, and one in the middle. And there's 3 screens that descend from just above the chalkboards as well.
All the technology embedded in the classroom does not seem that significant at first, but what is literally so crazy is that everything pretty much always works. Things are rarely broken and we rarely have connectivity issues. As an engineer, I know everything breaks. So IDK what kind of IT department HBS has or how much they get paid, but they're killing it and making sure we have a seamless experience and everything is maintained in tip-top shape. And the chairs are comfy. Not just the ones in the Aldrich classrooms, but all the seating all over campus. Okay, another thing I noticed is that there are no loose trash cans. All the trash cans are embedded into the walls. That's some next level building planning. And not only are the trash cans, I'm using the term trash can generically because every trash can is comprised of trash, recycling, and compost with little diagrams to tell us where each type of waste should go. Because even though we got into HBS, we still cannot figure out how to classify trash, apparently. And then talking about compost. Every disposable thing served here at HBS is compostable. I'm used to cheap plastic utensils and straws, but nope. Here at HBS, everything is compostable, which I don't even want to know the premium they pay for that. I'm sure the environmental value outweighs the cost. Or that's what us woke HBS students would like to think. Now that we're in Spangler assessing the compostableness of the trash, let's go upstairs to look at the rooms. All the rooms have these little touchscreen reservation systems attached to it. We can reserve rooms online or come in person to block off some time. This is actually really useful for partners who don't have access to the online system. So if my husband needs a quiet room, these little touchscreen thingies allow him to book a room. I like how the system isn't locked down and it's inclusive to the whole HBS community. Again, I don't want to know how much IT is paid to maintain these systems. I'm just glad that they work. Oh, and there's an analog version of this too. Every day, the schedule for each room is printed and updated outside the classroom. Who does this? This stuff doesn't just magically happen. And it's not just that. The folks who clean the chalkboards between classes, set up and tear down for events, even if it's just a silly simulation that us kids could totally do on our own. All these things just magically appear for us. I don't know how the staff is so prepared to execute these things so well that everything feels so seamless. They must have taken Tom like a bajillion times to get everything optimized. Another thing that I noticed that I won't take footage of is that every toilet here at HBS flushes automatically. I have not encountered a single toilet I had to manually flush. And there's even a toilet with a whole Japanese style bidet installed. If you ever visit HBS, go on a scavenger hunt for it. Though I wouldn't trust it enough to use the bidet, I bet maintaining the automatic flushing and bidet systems cost a pretty penny as well. And it's not obvious right now because campus is covered in snow, but HBS spends a lot on landscaping. I remember coming to ASW last April and seeing the cherry blossom trees and being blown away by the quality of the lawn. As a homeowner, I know lawn maintenance is neither cheap nor easy, and HBS has a lot of lawn. And then you add in all those plants and stuff, that just screams dollar signs. So, yes, HBS, I did notice all the details that you got right. I think we're spoiled because this will be the best maintained place we will ever spend the most time in. I see how the reinforcing choices that HBS made adds to the student experience and makes all the little things that could be annoying extremely seamless. So we can focus fighting other fires, like learning, or making friends, or finding jobs. So, what do you think about these little details that HBS definitely spends a lot of money on? Worth it or no? Leave your answer in the comments, and if you thought this inside look was interesting, please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, bye guys!